Yo, GameBro here, and along with me,
James, yes, we're gonna redo this again. Hopefully we'll get it done properly because, I don't know, I think you missed a few things the last time. Yes, Chris 64. In Europe, it is known as Holy Magic Century, I think.
and in Japan it's called Tale Monsters. And here's the intro. I guess I'll read out loud. Keltland, an island where magical spirits abound. This is about of magicians who have become powerful through a pact with the spirits. These are apprentices of the blah 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 blah.
Faster! Quick! Stronger! Faster!
It's a lot to ask for. Kinishu. This is the kingdom of northern magic, home of the Melrod Monastery. This kingdom. The text goes by. The text goes by too quickly in the intro. Carmack, the kingdom of merchants is situated. So are you able to read the text?
I'll try to. If we cannot skip. Highland, the king of the sword, located in the southern edge of the house, the king of the fire, steel, ruled by the ambitious warlike king. Ah!
Jeez. Thanks to a treaty among the three kingdoms, the people live in peace and prosperity. Okay, that one was easy.
But for how long?
One night, however, the monastery fell under an evil spell with the theft of an ancient book, the Tale book. Because of the theft, Keltland now faces dangers it has never before known.
Certain impacting doom!
Right, okay, let's get started. In this game, you'll need one of those memory packs, otherwise you will not be able to save. Brian, even though I've begged you not to leave, you still say you must go after your father. No matter how wonderful your powers may be, you are still a child. Your father, Lord Bartholomew, left to search for the stolen Tale book and has been missing for a month. No wonder you are worried about him. Contained in the words of the book is power that exceeds human knowledge. I wonder who could have possibly stolen it from the crypt of the monastery. If an evil person should use it, the country and all its cities will be destroyed. The spirit's blessings will disappear, and Keltland will once again be visited by a day of grief. Bartholomew's disappearance may mean he is caught in the fighting over the book. If you go, you may find yourself in danger as well. If you still insist, begin by going to Dundren. I'll ask the king of Dundren Castle to protect you.
So basically, in short, blah blah blah. Find the book, defeat the evil, and save the day.
When I was a kid, I really liked this game. I didn't play a lot of RPGs back then. But nowadays, it's an okay game overall. But it definitely has problems. It hasn't. I can't really say it's aged well because even back when this game was new, the critics didn't really care for it. And again, I can definitely see why. But
They didn't understand its awesomeness. They just judged it for what it was and didn't accept it for what it is.
You'll find some treasure chests in some spots. What I picked up was a dewdrop.
For future references, I highly suggest using multiple memory packs just in case, because in case your first one fails, you need a backup.
That would be wise. This game was rushed, and it was originally going to. You're originally going to be able to have other party members with you, but throughout the whole game, it's just Brian. And in other ways, this game shows that it was rushed. there are some rooms that are completely empty and completely pointless. This game definitely had potential, though. I really liked how the battle in this game worked, but there are a few problems about it that I will address later. In this
Yeah, like there's no game over because this game never ends.
Be sure to speak to Pat in order to get some fresh bread, which restores 50. What I got before was honey bread, which restored 100 HP. Alright, head left to find one of those spirits. Guess it's time I start explaining them. Basically with the C buttons you can choose one of the elements for using spells. Fire, earth, water, and wind. You can probably tell which element's which.
Because you need a healing spell. So you can run around in circles and heal yourself while grinding against enemies.
I do think
Right?
the graphics in this game are pretty good considering this was an N64 game, and that the music is overall pretty good as well. A bit simple, but catchy and fitting nonetheless. I think even most people who hate this game must admit that the music is not half bad.
The only reason people hated this game in the first place is because they compared it to other games. That's what the whole hate was all about.
Like Final Fantasy VII and whatnot.
Yeah. And Mario.
So, before I leave town, one thing you could do, you could pick up some wings that'll bring you back here. Not that there's a lot of reason to pick up wings except for if someone offers you some food or whatever, you can get free if you don't have
Back to Middle Road.
if you don't have any.
Anytime there's a part that you understand, the wing will work in wide open spaces. Take care from Ingram, the man who's named after a gun.
If you don't already have one of the same items, is what I was trying to finish. And there's another spirit up here. Just head this way.
Right at the end of the thing, next to the other thing. Even though you can jump in battle, you can't jump off a cliff. Sucks. Because you jump really high, you can't jump off a cliff and not take damage.
The spirits are pretty difficult to find, so be sure to look thoroughly if you want to find all of them. Try not to use them unless you have to.
Yeah, you can't buy anything in this game, which sucks. I can understand why a lot of people didn't like this game in the first place.
Yep, you don't get any money, so you can't afford things. You get everything in treasure chest, and from talking to certain individuals.
It's hard to get through this game because of the fact that you
Alright.
stuff.
Okay, let's take a look at the pause screen. Here you can see your HP, MP, defense, and agility.
How do you get experience for agility, even though you haven't fight it yet?
You gain it by running around, and you can see the percentage, how close you are to increasing it. Message, background music. Here is the map. Where do you wish to go?
You get experience by running.
And what your levels are for your elements. You cannot use maps while in town or in a cave or something, just when you're outside field. And first enemy encounter.
Oh, it's a bunny! Kill it with fire!
Although, I'm such a chatterbox. Just a lot to discuss in this game. A lot to explain. Another enemy.
Fire.
See how my magic restored. You also do so by running.
Another reason why I question why you need a dew drop in the first place. The only reason you need it is because, I don't know, maybe boss battle.
Pretty much. Because if I have one complaint about this game, it's that it's way too freaking generous with restoring your magic. Like every 1 second of running, you restore 2 MP. Now,
Every step of the way.
now that
Magical journey.
now the Japanese version, LT Monsters, actually did make an improvement to it. You don't restore as much MP. Still a bit generous, but it's definitely an improvement along with a few other differences. The Japanese get the best version of the game.
Body of a crocodile, but the mouth of a hippo.
Time to show off the other spells as well. Water Pillar, level 2. We haven't even showed off level 1. Mies.
How can you miss when you're that close? It doesn't make any sense.
I failed to see the logic. Yes.
I fail to see this game at all. But then again, why not? Water.
And
The healing spell.
and now I have Water Pillar level 2. Haven't even showed off level 1 yet. We'll get to that.
Aww.
And another big
Who
mouth.
wants to come back for round 2?
As you can see, you're in this octagon. See how far Brian can go in one turn. You also have the outer thing where once you're outside of it, you'll be able to escape the battle. Let's show off Wind Cutter level 1. Like the weakest spell in the freaking game. And you want to increase your HP by using your staff on enemies. Let's show off Water Pillar level 2, which is basically level 1 except a wider range. Like the same range as your staff. And so many enemies. One to kill Brian. Wanted to kill a young boy. And one thing to keep in mind, one problem with this game I have that I can kind of understand is people may end up backtracking, end up getting lost, but remember that when after a battle Brian will automatically jump in the same way he was once before. Travelers don't show up here very often. It seems that it isn't safe anywhere on the roads these days. I see a future for you fraught with danger and challenges that no ordinary human could meet. It isn't clear, but your destiny awaits you at the end of the longest road.
If it isn't clear, how are you able to tell?
So, onward we go. We're heading southwest we go. As long as you don't use like the same element as the monsters are, then the spell is probably okay to use on him. Get rid of this Parasalt, or whatever it's called again. Oh yes, and now I can heal level 1.
Now focus your stuff on the other spells. Like, keep it balanced.
So
Now you don't have to use any items at all.
except for maybe in boss battles. Geez, I have not gained much HP. And enemies really seem to hate me. And if you agree...
I don't know, because I love them, even though they're not much of a threat.
And also, if you upgrade the elements levels, it'll also increase the power of your staff. Do keep that in mind. And there's a cabin with Another new enemy, man-eaters. If you stand next to them, they cannot harm you, cause that rock move is all they have. I couldn't reach that hair. Damn. I recommend purposely getting hit from time to time, just to increase your defense a bit. As weird as it sounds.
It's almost like Final Fantasy 2. You're aware of that game, right?
Yes, I've played a bit of it. I couldn't get into it. Seemed like a good game, but I really didn't like how you leveled up.
Yeah, because you had to train your levels like grind in certain things. For example, if you got hit, you actually increased your defense. If you use magic spells, you increase your magic level.
This is right. Well, it's starting to get a bit long, so I will stop here. This is Game Bro.